This is a reading for Aquarius Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. It is for the period of around December 15th to the middle of January. And if you are seeing this at any other time than that, it is perfectly appropriate as well. The readings are good for whenever you watch. So, let's see what is going on as the heart of the matter for Aquarius. I've got the deck here. The heart of the matter for Aquarius, please. The Knight of Wands. Yeah, the Knight of Wands is energetic, creative energy. It's fire energy. It can be Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. And the Knight of Wands is very inspiring and very creative and can be a little bit reckless. As an individual, the Knight of Wands can be a messenger of something to you. And it is also the card of taking courage and inspired action. It's a card of adventure. It's a card of go with it or go for it. It's high-spirited energy, and it can be impulsive. So there could be someone around you who is like this. You may know who this is, or you may know what the situation is. There's definitely a feeling of spontaneity to this. And the crossing energy to the Knight of Wands that may give us some more insight into what this is all about here for Aquarius. What crosses the Knight of Wands? What energy is crossing the Knight of Wands, please, for Aquarius? It's crossing. Okay. Well, let's see. Let me contemplate on this for a minute, because we got the Chariot and the Tower. This explains the motion. This explains the activity. I think the crossing card is the Tower. And I think that the Tower is something is shaking things up, and this may be the Knight of Wands. But there's some very disruptive energy here. So something is happening around you that, while it's creative, there's things that can be kind of crazy going on. And the base of this is, this crossing energy, the Tower. These could actually be together, because the reckless energy is moving forward, and it's taking it's taking things with it. It's disrupting things as it moves. So if we take it that way, this would make sense, that this is a time when things are a bit out of control. However, the Chariot is telling me it's more controlled than it looks. So I am indeed going to leave the Tower here in the crossing energy and put the Chariot down here. It's the base of it. This is something that is going somewhere. That is what this is. But this is disruptive energy. Things have shaken things up. Things are moving fast. The thing about this card, though, is that the person who is driving the Chariot has these two forces. The horse, the black and white horse, are the forces of the divine feminine and masculine, emotion and spirituality, and it's, the dark and light and opposites. So it's opposites. It's harnessed these two energies, and it's moving forward with it. So this is intentional movement here. So this is at the base. There's some intentional movement. So things are being shaken up for a reason, I think, is what is the point here. So let's see what's in the recent past for Aquarius. Recent past for Aquarius, please. Recent past, the Empress. So there's some big energy here. The Empress is the divine feminine. So what has happened in the recent past? It could be a mother, it could be motherhood. It is nurturing and abundance and empathy and unification of body, mind, and spirit. So this is a very interesting start to this reading, because this is I think telling you there is earthy energy around the dreams that you have, and that it's not all up in your head and your imagination, but it can be brought to reality. It's one of those times when it's going to be really important to be intentional and grounded and to nurture yourself. Because this is what the Empress is all about. This is the sense of, I am taking care of myself in physical, emotional, spiritual, in all kinds of ways. And this is an exciting card because it kind of talks of things to come, because there is the creation, the pregnant Empress is going to come forth with something for the future, and we don't know what that is yet. So let's look at what is crowning. What is the crowning energy here? So what is the energy that's coming in? Current energy entering the scene. The Empress energy is really interesting. So what is coming into the picture for Aquarius? The energy that's coming in, please. Crowning energy, please. The Hermit. So the Hermit could be an individual. 1, 2, 3, 4 major Arcana cards here. So this is big. This is something big. This is something big energy, big things happening. The Tower being a shakeup, something that's shaking up your world. At the bottom of the deck, there are a couple of clues here. Let me look at these 4 cards, actually 5, because we have some emotional energy. These are things that might be influencing it. There's some partnership energy. There is the Ace of Swords, which is inspiration, brilliant ideas. There is the Seven of Swords, which is challenging energy or challenging communications or sneakiness on someone's part, or lies to yourself. There's the Six of Cups, which is nostalgia or the need to heal childhood wounds. And then there is the King of Cups, who's this dude who is totally in touch with his emotional side. And there's the Eight of Cups, which is someone walking away from something emotional. So interesting mix of energies here. Something has gone on in the past, and I think that not all of it was necessarily comfortable. And so the cards are all showing me this is some new thing for you. So let's see. It may have something to do with the material world and maybe work, partnerships. So let's see. The Hermit, again, can be a person that you know who is kind of to themselves. They are a bearer of wisdom, and they find that wisdom, just like the Hermit story, going into the cave and coming out when it's when they're ready to, when they have the message that they that they need to deliver. This can be your energy. This can be you going into your inner world and meditating. It is taking time away from chaos of a busy life. And a lot of us have been hermits for a couple of years almost now. Is that I think that this could be either a mentor that you're talking to, because there's a lot of things going on here that you could be talking to someone. But this mentor is going to have some wisdom, deep wisdom for you, if that's the case. And if it's you, if it's your energy, you have definitely got the possibility to go inside and find your own deep message to yourself, the thing that you need to know. So let's see what's coming up in the near future for Aquarius. What's in the near future? This is one of those readings that is interesting and perplexing, and I'm thinking that you'll probably know what your tower moment is here, and you might be very clear about who that slightly, possibly reckless, but creative Knight of Wands, or what that means. So I am hoping that this will make sense, and this can give you some insights into why this power is coming into your, or this is coming into being here. Well, I've got 3 cards that dropped out of the deck, so I'm going to figure out what to do with these. So for the near future is this card. I'll take these for their positions as single cards. That's what I feel is right. The King of Wands is Leo energy, so this could be an individual around you with strength and leadership and compassion and creativity. And it's also could be a part of you. And with the Knight of Wands and King of Wands, I think that it might be someone, but if it's you, these may both be things that are part of you. You may have fire signs, which I kind of get the feeling for here that that could be it. If not, this could be people that you know. But this King of Wands is going to be creative energy and strength for you. And you are embodying temperance and balance. So despite the fact that we have this chaos, this tower moment, and this moving quickly, we see the Hermit, so we see a stillness and we see a strength. And the environment around you is actually taking that in a little bit deeper way. So this Hermit energy and the moon are related because that's all that going inside and going deep into the world of spirit, the world of deep emotions. And temperance is you are feeling in a very good balance. You have found yourself in a spot where you really have the balance, that there's a lot of masculine energy and feminine energy, and that's balanced in here. There's a balance of the dark and light, the physical world and the spiritual world. And there's patience here too. So you're patiently waiting, and the Hermit and really talks about that as well. Patiently waiting for a message, patiently searching for a message. And temperance is about walking the middle path. You can have one foot in one world and one foot in the other world, but you really are able to kind of hold that all at the same time. So the moon being the environment, there's an environment of deep wisdom available. So that there's an environment where things are going to be easy to go under and find the meaning. Hopes and fears for Aquarius. Well, that must be it. Page of Pentacles. So that's an interesting one. There is a hope here that seems to be around the material world. So there could be some material concerns here. And underlying here are a couple of things that tell me that the fear is possibly losing that. there's some worries, the Ten of Swords and Nine of Swords here, and the Knight of Swords and the Eight of Swords. So there's something on your mind. And I think that this energy here is making you feel nervous about your material world. The Page of Pentacles is youthful energy that talks about ideas, has innovative ideas in the material realm, and that may be a hope. This may be a hope that you have that's surrounding that. But I also see the Queen of Swords here, and in the past this could be not quite clear. Yeah, there is some nervousness around your stability as far as the material world is concerned. So I think that's what this is really talking about here. So there's our King of Cups again. The Queen of Swords here is another thing. There could be someone, and given that this is air energy, this could be your card. The individual here that's underneath the hopes and fears, I think that's the hope is for the clarity, and I think it's kind of tied to that, because there's been something that you've been disappointed with, some disappointment, feeling of loss, and then the walking away from something, and the end of pain. The Swords energy here is still, and yet the Knight of Swords means that there's messages that have come to you and motion that happened quickly, and that's probably also related to this Tower and the Knight of Wands. So let's look and see. There's a lot to unpack here, I think. So what is the outcome, please, for Aquarius? What does the outcome look like for Aquarius here? Okay, I may have to pull this off the stack. If I don't get a card now for the outcome, I will do that. Oh, all right. So a card fell out, which is Judgment. And there are some other cards that kind of fell off to the side, which I will set them aside. So the card at the bottom right now is the Ace of Swords, and that is information that you get that is an aha moment. It's brilliant clarity. It can be inspiration, but it's in thought. So this is good. This tells me that this judgment is positive, and I'm still sort of trying to unpack the hopes and fears here, so I'm going to circle back to I'm looking at the book here. The Page of Pentacles in this book. Some of the interpretations are a little bit different from traditional. So the Page of Pentacles talks about manifesting new opportunities and new beginnings. It can talk about good news. So maybe what you're doing is, things are so crazy with this thing going on, and you're looking deep inside. So I think you might be looking for good news, and that's something that you're hoping for, and making your plans a reality. So you may have plans that were sort of disrupted by all of this Tower moment. The Tower is always a disruption. It's a sudden thing that happens that really changes everything. And the Tower is often something that is a path adjustment. It sends you down a different road. And so between the Knight of Wands energy and the Tower, you are on a different road, and it's moving fast. But you're sitting in this very stable goddess energy, and you also have this very still Hermit here in this energy, and you also have the strength of the King of Wands. So it looks to me like this situation is positive, despite this being messy right here, because I could see that there was some messy hurt and maybe some things happening that were not pleasant. And now there are jackhammers in the background, so pardon the construction, it just is. So I think that as Judgment is often a card of rebirth, that may be what that is. That may be what this is, that you are getting to that new beginning and that self-realization, that you've wanted. And really, the thing that we are looking for here looks like it is spiritual, because the Empress, the Hermit, and the Moon are all spiritually tied. There's a spiritual weight to this reading that I think is coming out here. The essence of you is going to shine, and that is what is going to come out of it. This has been a tough time. It has worried you in some ways. There's been some anxiety, but you're going to get clarity, and you're going to get this essential rebirth, awakening, self-realization. In some cases, it's a redemption of sorts. And that redemption could be for you, or it could be for this situation. It's kind of up to how your situation is for your individual perspective for this reading. So I think all in all, this is positive. And the Ace of Swords, again, is a card of awareness and heightened states of consciousness. So this is talking about awareness. And this is something that I think that you are seeking, this higher awareness based on what is happening. What else is there to life than this chaotic thing that is sort of sitting here? It's creativity, but it's a bit out of control. And the Chariot sometimes feels like something is out of control, but it's moving the direction that it's supposed to. And it's brought you to a state where you have either the Council of a Hermit, or you're embodying that. And you also have the King of Wands, either again as a council or as your own energy. And so what we'll end up with is a moment where you do reach that clarity. You do get that aha moment, and you do feel that awareness, the heightened state of consciousness that happens, and you do get from going into this atmosphere that is conducive for that, you find some answers that you've been looking for. Now, let's see if I want to, I'm going to go into the underlying energy. So we always have, and that's why I don't know what to do with these cards. I'm actually going to put these over here for a minute. I might talk about them, it just depends. But we did kind of look into this here at the bottom. The cards that tell me the story of how this all occurred. Here is maybe one clue as what the Tower was, because the Seven of Swords can be something about someone sneaking around, someone doing something underhanded. Again, it can also be a card of one lying to oneself, or acting strategically, working with resources that you have because you don't have access to all the resources, so you are conserving them and maybe hoarding the resources for your own use. The Eight of Cups talks about walking away from energy, emotional energy. Often this is, I believe, energy that someone else has kind of saddled you with, or it is also energy that comes from things in your past that you are no longer, you've processed it, you've taken what you wanted of it, and you've left the rest. So you've discarded some energy. You've been in or around the King of Cups energy, which has given you the ability to go in and do this work in the emotional realm. And that also is underscored by the Six of Cups here, which is talking about nostalgia. It's talking about the healing of old wounds, about coming to grips with things in your past, about forgiving yourself or forgiving others. So there has been a lot of emotional things that are happening, that have happened, and that you've moved from. You've been looking for balance, and the Temperance card reflects this in a slightly different way, but at the same time, it's the balance and a choice here. And the choice of the balance is the material world and the spiritual world. And maybe that's the choice, and you've realized that you can have both. And then there is, again, there's some hurt that has happened, some heartbreak. And some of that could be related to something to do with partnerships and work, because there are there's 3 cards that are really related to material world work and partnership, perfecting something that you're working on. And the stability, it could be that some of the stability, because we see this stability, and there's actually the strength card, but we see the stability was here. And I don't know if that was disrupted by this whole situation, but that could be part of it. And I am telling you that if that hurt and that caused this moment to happen, the things that you are going through are actually positive. So because I saw the cards that were talking about work there and the emotion, I will talk about these. Because the 5 and 7 of Wands are really kind of a situation that I think a lot of us get into, particularly in the modern work world. The 5 and 7 of Wands, if you are working in an environment where there is a lot of competition for the prize that's at the top, sometimes what happens is that people get into a way of looking at things. If you're working with a team, because we had that 3 of Pentacles card there, I'm going to set this to one side here, right here. But this can be the situation you find yourself in, is defending yourself, defending what you have done. When you get to a certain point in your life, when you're making things in the world of work, if it's creative efforts, sometimes things get competitive. And what happens is that there are people who are vying for the prize, and they're often working, it becomes combative, and things get kind of cutthroat. And sometimes that energy means that there's always someone challenging you, and they're challenging you to defend what you have done. And I think that is something that there are a lot of people, I've seen these 2 cards come up with recently, and it tells me that there's a sense that this isn't the way to do things. And what I like about this card is that there is a sense of serenity to this individual, who in the traditional deck is actually standing, getting ready to fight, defending what she has created. This person is sitting there in a Zen-like calm, and what she has actually done is she said, these things that I have are good, so I'm surrounding myself with a boundary that you can't get through. And I think that's the thing there. The message is that this doesn't have to be this way, and I can do my work, and I can feel secure in what I'm doing. And so if people have been picking at it or criticizing or picking your work apart, it could be that there is a sense of competition and sometimes jealousy. And that's what that 7 of Swords that's here can be. Sometimes that's jealousy and envy coming in, and someone trying to sabotage things. And maybe not that. It can also be a little bit of the imposter syndrome, that we feel like, is this true? Am I really, do I really belong here? Or am I lying? Am I lying to myself? Or am I an imposter? Do I deserve this? Well, the Ace of Cups talks about the center of emotions and compassion and understanding. And that is really, I think, the underlying energy that you have come to grips with. You're going into this hermit phase. You're beginning to get the feeling that you are actually okay, and you can start to feel that emotion and go inside and love yourself like you know you're enough, and you can move out of this energy. That this Knight of Wands could definitely be related to this energy here. There could be someone around you who you just can't quite get, and it's shaken things up in a way that you don't like, and it's made you think completely different path might be for you. And that sometimes is what happens to us. We find ourselves in a situation where we become very uncomfortable, and then it pushes us through to a whole different way of thinking and looking at things that actually turns out to be better. But we had to go through the lessons to understand what was happening. I think this is going to be longer than I intended it to be, but I think that it's important because I think I might have got to the base of this here. The awakening of the heart and joy and the positive outcomes is really what you're hoping for here in many ways. And that is something that you're going to get that. This judgment card really is all about that. It is an awakening that is at a very deep level. And I know this probably leaves you with more questions, but I would say reflect on this energy and think about how something or someone might have come into your life that started things shaking up in a way that pushed you towards this energy, that moved you into going to looking at how things could be different and deeper, and how things could change. And it opened you up to some possibilities that you had not ever thought about before. Again, with that, I will leave it there. If you like this video, please click like. If you like my videos and you have been here before, please subscribe. And if you enjoyed this and have a comment to make, please leave the comment below the video. Thank you very much.